I've started the recordings, guys. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. And if there is any question in the meantime, just ping me in the chat box and I should be able to reply you back, or else you guys can unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay. And yesterday we saw what are variables in Java. Okay, that is the only thing what we saw yesterday. Okay, not here, not this Eclipse. We had used a different Eclipse. Let me open that Eclipse for you guys. And yesterday I remember I told you guys about this thing. What is it? What is JDK, then JRE? What is the difference between JDK and JRE? Okay, and this is what I told you guys to remind me. Okay, and let's go ahead and see, guys. Okay, what is the difference between JDK and the JRE, guys? Okay, to see that, first of all, when you go to google.com and you say download JDK 1.8, okay, that is what we have seen the other day. Okay, it will give me this particular thing. Okay, it will give me this particular thing, guys. Okay, now we saw other day we have to go ahead either download this, that is x86 or x64, depending on our operating system. Okay, but there is this is all JDKs, guys. Okay, what is exactly the JDK? It's just if you ask me, the full form for JDK is Java Development Kit. And in the same way, if I say JRE, that is Java Runtime Environment, guys. Okay, Java Development Kit and Java Runtime Environment. Okay, that is all about it, guys. Nothing more than that. Now, and same way, we can download JRE 1.8 as well. Okay, JRE 1.8 as well. See, if I go ahead, see, these are all the JREs. Okay, the similar thing. Okay, we can go ahead and download. Now the question is, what is JRE? What is JDK? Okay, now to tell you the difference between JDK and JRE and all these stuffs, okay, let me just show that in a proper form. Okay, MS Paint. Now say, consider this is a box. Okay, this is a box, and this box is called JDK, that is Java Development Kit. Okay, Java Development Kit. Now Java Development Kit will have lots of things in it. Okay, some of the major thing is, one of the major thing within Java Development Kit is something called as compiler. Okay, this is a compiler. And there is also one more part in this called as JRE. Okay, that is Java Runtime Environment, guys. Okay, so these are the two important things inside your Java development kit. One is compiler and another one is Java runtime environment. So when we say JRE, JRE is a part of JDK, guys. Okay, JRE will be inside the JDK. Is there any doubt at this point of time? Anyone, guys? Any doubt? No doubt? Okay, perfect, fine, guys. Now, next thing is what you guys needs to know is, for example, there is a class called I have written a Java file called example one dot Java. Can someone among you ping me what is the exact syntax for compiling this particular file? If I want to compile this file, how will I do it? Can someone ping me the syntax, or can someone unmute themselves and tell me? Okay. And Rajni, when you're typing, you can type it as a public thing so that others can also see your reply. Okay, this is what Rajni typed, guys. Okay, and Suganya also typed the same thing, Java C. This is how you will go ahead and compile it. What you will do, Java C space example1.java. Okay, this is exactly what you will do. Now when you say Java C, it is actually calling this compiler, guys. This compiler, whatever you are seeing, it is actually calling this compiler when you say Java C. Okay, now it is calling the compiler. Now once the compilation happens, what we get, guys? We get the result of compilation is example one dot class. Correct? The bytecode will be generated when we compile the source file. That is what we have discussed. This is bytecode. Okay, this is the bytecode, and this is your source file. What is your source file? Example1.java. This is your source file, guys. Okay, bytecode will be generated. Okay, now once you have the bytecode, guys, once you have the bytecode, what happens is there is something called as who executes those bytecodes. That is the question, guys. Okay, there will be something called as JDK, guys. Okay, inside JRE there will be something called as JDK, Java Development Kit. Okay, there will be something called as JDK, and the JDK is the one who takes this example1 dot class as an input. Okay, it takes the example1 dot class as an input and it converts into machine language, guys. It converts into a machine language. Now there are two important things inside this JDK, two most important things. One is inside this JDK there is one part called as interpreter There is something called as interpreter, and one more part called as, one is interpreter and the other part is called as JITC. What do you mean by JITC? JITC stands for just in time compiler. Sometimes they do ask these questions in the interview, guys. Just in time compiler. Okay. Now, yeah, that's right, Suganya. That's just in time compiler. Now, what I said, this compiler, okay, takes class example1.java and it creates something called as bytecode, that is example1.class. Now I said, say there is a class like this, okay, there is a class like this, okay, this is the code, okay, and I have not told you what is this public static void main, nothing, okay, don't be worried about this. See, this is the code, and you know it executes line by line. This is the first line, this is second line, this is third line, this is fourth line, this is fifth line, this is sixth line, like that it executes, okay, in the computer memory. Now the question is, what is the use of interpreter and what is the use of just-in-time compiler? What is the use of interpreter and what is the use of just-in-time compiler? Now, to answer your question, there is a significant difference between just-in-time compiler and interpreter. Okay, so what it does is, say this is your class file. Okay, say normally the class file won't be like this, the compiled version will not be like this. Okay, it will be some kind of random characters. Okay, some kind of random characters. Okay, that is what we have discussed. It will have some kind of random characters. That is what we have discussed. Okay, consider it is like this, it is like this, it is not random. Okay, just for time being, it executes the first line. Okay, first line. Okay, when it try to execute the first line, okay, it has to convert this bytecode. Okay, this bytecode. Okay, this example1.java is nothing but the bytecode, correct? That's what we said. Okay, first it will try to convert this bytecode corresponding to this line, public static concat operator, into machine language. Okay, first it will try to convert. Okay, and who does it? Interpreter does it. And it will convert into machine language, and once it gets converted into machine language, your processor executes it. Okay, this is the thing. Even the second line, the same thing. Interpreter converts it into machine language and the processor executes it. Even the third line, same thing. Fourth line, the same thing. Fifth line, the same thing. Sixth line, every line, same thing. Interpreter converts it into machine language and the processor executes it. This is the normal flow. This is the job of the interpreter, guys. This is the job of the interpreter. Then what is the use of just-in-time compiler? That's the question. What Java guys have done is, okay, what they have done is they have done something like this. Say, I have not told you anything about for loop. Just consider there is a for loop. Okay, I have not taught you guys for loop. Say i int I equals to 0, I is less than 10,000, I plus plus. Okay, this is a for loop what I have, and in this for loop, say I am typing system dot out dot println. I will say hello, how are you? Now the question is whether this for loop, which has to be executed 110,000 times. Okay, so all these while we have seen this line will be given to the interpreter. Every of these lines will be given to the interpreter. Interpreter will convert it into machine language and the processor will execute it. But when it comes to something which is repeated in nature, okay, something which is repeated in nature, the question is whether it will be given to the interpreter or not. What happens if you give it to the interpreter? Interpreter will first will go in here and it will check, okay, how are you has to be printed. So what it will do, it will convert it into machine language. Interpreter will convert it into machine language, then processor will execute it. Again, second time, again machine language, then the processor will execute it. Like this, you will convert this same sentence, this particular sentence, that is system.out.println, the same sentence you will convert from machine language, from the byte code to machine language 10,000 times. 10,000 times. And what Sun Microsystem decided is this is not a very good solution, because we know the same thing has to be executed 10,000 times. We need not convert it into machine language 10,000 times. Instead, we will bring in a concept called just-in-time compiler. Concept called just-in-time compiler, JITC. What this just-in-time compiler does is very simple, guys. Just-in-time compiler will gonna give you this. We're gonna first convert this byte code into machine language once, and this machine language, okay, it will be that machine language will be stored in a variable, some kind of variable it will store, and when it is executing it will not every time, every 10,000 time it will not convert it into machine language. Whatever machine language you have stored for this particular line, the same machine language will be executed 10,000 times. Okay, same machine code will be executed 10,000 times. So basically what's happening here is you are able to save a lot of time, guys. Okay, you are able to save a lot of time. You are not converting the byte code into machine language 10,000 times. Instead, you are doing it only once. You are doing it only once, and the execution happens 10,000 times. Okay, but conversion from machine byte code to machine language will happen only one time, if at all you use just-in-time compiler. And if you use the interpreter, it will convert it 10,000 times, and then 10,000 times it will execute. So whenever there is a repeated work, repeated task, okay, then your Java virtual machine will decide that those repeated lines of code has to be handled by just-in-time compiler. And if something has to be done only once, then it will give it to interpreter, guys. Any doubt, guys? Anyone? No doubt? Okay, fine, guys. Okay, and this is the only user. This is all about Java runtime environment and Java development kit, guys. This is all about Java runtime environment and Java development kit. There is nothing more than that. And there is one more thing which is there in the Java runtime environment, and that is something called as, say you have Rajni is saying you can brief in once, please. Okay, so you want me to brief about the entire thing, whatever we discussed in one line? Okay, yeah. So basically, before that, I just want to cover one more topic here. Okay, before that, what I am saying is, apart from these three things, there will be something called as a packaging thing. Okay, they will call it as JAR. JAR, guys. JAR. Okay, so what there are, see, you know what is compiler does. Okay, it converts from source code to bytecode. Okay, and this interpreter and just-in-time compiler converts those bytecode into machine language. What does this jar do is, say you have created some application, okay, and you have written some application like this, okay, like this. Okay, there are around 10 different class that you have written, and you have to package it, right? You have to convert it into a jar file and give it to someone, okay, maybe your client. Okay, that in that case you will be using this utility called jar in your, which is there in your Java development kit, basically, which is inside your Java runtime environment. And this is all about JDK and the JRE, guys. Okay, and don't be, if you see like that, there are hundreds of different parts for JDK and the JRE. Okay, but these are the things which are most important things. Okay, and these are the things which you should be knowing. Okay, so just a minute, guys. Let me just put it into your class 4. JDK and JRE. Okay, I have stored it, guys. Okay, so what is JRE? JRE is nothing but Java runtime environment. Okay, which is a part of Java development kit. Okay, JRE is part of Java development kit, and JRE basically has two things. One is jar utility, which will be used for packaging the Java application. JDK, which is used for executing the bytecode. JDK is used for executing the bytecode. That bytecode has to be executed by interpreter or just-in-time compiler will be again decided by the JDK. If it is something repeated work, it will be given to the just-in-time compiler. If not, it will be given to the interpreter. Now, compiler, you guys know, it is part of Java development kit, which will help you to compile the Java source code. That is all about it, guys. Any doubt, anyone? Okay, and believe me guys, okay, this is not so much important for you guys, okay, and even for a decent developer it's not so much important. It's important for the people, those who are developing the JDK and JRE. Okay, if at all you guys, I'm not sure whether you guys know, there is something called as Sun JDK, there is something called as Oracle JDK, there is something called as IBM JDK, and I believe there is also something called as HP JDK. Okay, those who develop this JDK software, for them this is too much important. For you guys need to have this much of knowledge. Okay, like what is JDK, what is JRE, what are the parts of the JRE, what are the parts of the JDK. That's all about it guys. Okay, perfect. Now that was all about the JDK and the JRE guys. Okay, and yesterday we have seen, I have told you not to concentrate on this public class, whatever I have written, even the public static void main. I just told you to concentrate on these things. Okay, now if at all you guys understood the yesterday's class, can you please guys tell me this? Okay, what will be the output of this? What will be the output of this particular line? When I print the result, what will be the output guys? Okay, Rajni is saying 300, 500, some is. And what about any other answer guys? What will be the output of that particular line? What about you, Suganya? Suganya is also the same thing. Okay, now if I execute this particular code, see guys, what is the output? 800 is sum. Guys, you know why this is printing 800 plus sum? You guys know why it is printing 800 plus sum? See, what I said, always when you say string result equals to a plus b plus sum, what happens? When you say string result equals to a plus b plus sum, is something like this. What's gonna happen is, first right hand side whatever is there, this has to be executed, correct? This line has to be executed. If this line has to be executed, I said it always starts from left to right, correct? Okay, left to right, what happens? First a plus b happens, and a plus b will give you 800. That is an integer, a plus b. And then you are saying plus this sum is. So 800, that is integer, you are concatenating with sum is. It will give you result as 800 sum is. Understood guys? Anyone having any doubt? Suganya, are you able to understand? Okay, perfect guys. Okay, always the execution starts, these two things will be evaluated for plus first, and then whatever the result comes, that will be concatenated with this. Okay, that is all about it guys, nothing more than that. But what we discussed here in this case, it will again from left to right, say sum is, that is a string, will be concatenated with integer. It will give you sum is 300, and that one will be again sum is 300 will be concatenated, that is string will be again concatenated with 500. So this time it will give you sum is 300 500. Okay, sum is 300 500. That's what it will give you, guys. Any doubt? No doubt, right? Okay, perfect. If no doubt, we will gonna go ahead and start what are methods in Java. Okay, anyone know what are methods in Java, guys? No? Okay. Behavior of an object. Okay, what is an object then? So when I saying it's a behavior of an object, then what is an object? Not sure? Okay, don't. Okay, method is something which does a specific task. Okay, if you say it, you can think of method as a person. Okay, method as a person. Okay, if you call that person, he will do a fixed task. Okay, that person is capable of doing only one task. Okay, only one task. He cannot do more than one task. He'll be able to do only one task. Okay, you can think of a method as lines of code which are written to do a particular task. Okay, that's all about it. Now main is also a method. Okay, and I am not telling you what is this public static void or what is the string args. Okay, this is the method name, guys. Main is the method name. In the same way, we can have other methods as well. Other methods in the sense. And one more thing, before I start off the methods, one very important thing that you guys needs to know is, can we run a class, a Java source code without a main method, guys? Say I don't have a main method. Can I run this particular class? What do you guys think? Any answer? If I don't have a main method, I cannot run this class. If you see, run as, it is not giving me any option. I cannot run a class without the main method. So main method is very mandatory, and it should be in this particular form, that is public static void main, and it has to have with string args. Okay, and I have not told you guys, again I'm saying you, what is this public, what is this static, what is this void, what is this string args. Okay, and we will be discussing it later point of time. As of now, understand, you should have the main method to execute the Java program. Now question to Suganya and Rajni. The question is this: if you don't have the main method, can you compile that particular class? Can you? Yes. Okay. If at all there is no compilation error here, it means that the, the this particular class is compiled. Okay. So you can compile a class without the main method. That is one more thing what you need to know. Okay. That is one more thing what you need to know, guys. Okay. Now once we are done this much, okay, then so the next thing is how to create a method. Okay, I said think method as a person who does a specific task. He will not do more than one task. Okay, he is designed to achieve a specific goal. Okay, so I will just copy like this. Okay, copy like this, public static void. I have not told you what is that. And then I will say this particular method I am creating, that method will say hi good morning. Okay, so I will say that method name is greet, and method name should always starts with lowercase. Okay, even if you make it uppercase, it will not give you any error, guys, but by convention this is a good practice to give method name as a lowercase. Okay, that is the thing. And I will do something like this, and then I will do like this. I will say system.out.println, that is to print something. I will say hello good morning. This is what I'm saying, guys. Hello good morning. Okay, now couple of things to know. I'm saying you don't worry what is this public. I'm saying you don't worry what is this static, and don't worry what is this void. I'm telling you just concentrate on this method name. What is the method name, guys? Method name is greet. Greet is the method name. Okay, greet is the method name. And don't worry why there is nothing written in between these two things. Nothing is written, right? Don't be worried, guys, but just think this method, if you call this method, it will gonna give you, if it will gonna print hello good morning on the console. That is all you need to know now. Now the next thing is, so what will be the output of this program if I run this program? Anyone? Any answer, guys? What will be the output of the program if I run this particular class? No answer? Okay. If there is no answer, okay, there is an answer. Hello, good morning, I guess. That's what Rajni is saying. Let's see, guys. Right click, run as Java application. See, it is printing nothing on the console. Why? And let me do this. Say I will say SYSOUT first line in main method. SYSOUT, I will say last line in main method. Okay. Now if I run as Java application, it is just printing me first line in main method, last line in main method. So here what you need to understand is your execution starts from the main method. Execution starts from the main method and ends at the main method. Okay. If you want to execute this particular code, this is what Rajni told us. Rajni said, because greet method is not called. Yes. If you want to execute this particular method, you have to call this method in the main program. Now the next question is how to call this greet method in the main class. All you need to do is just copy from the method name till here, guys, till here. Okay, right click, copy, paste it, and give a semicolon. Now when you give a semicolon and if you run it, See, now it is printing hello good morning. So this particular method named greet does only one act, and even if you call it 100 times, it will do the same thing. It will just print hello good morning on the console. That is all about it. And it won't print anything else. It will only print hello good morning on the console. Okay, now couple of things to know. There are four kinds of methods, guys. Four kinds of methods. Four kinds of methods. Now, what are those methods? That is what we will say. What are those four kinds? That is what we're gonna see now. Now, there is something called as arguments, and there is something called as return type. In any method, there is something called as argument, and there is something called as return type. See, I have not told you what is this public, what is this void. But this particular part after static, right before the method, whatever you write, this is return type of the method. This is the return type of the method. And there is also something called as arguments, guys. There is also something called as arguments. So basically there are two things. One is name, that is name is greet. Return type I am saying void is the return type, and argument is empty. There are no argument. Okay, no argument. And return type I am saying void, and name is greet. Okay, these are the three things. Just ignore this public and static as of now. Concentrate on this return type, which is I mentioned it as void. Name of the method is greet, and here is the argument, and I have not written inside any argument. Okay, that is what you need to know. So there are basically four types of methods. One is, say, this is say with return type. This is without return type. This is with argument or arguments, and here without argument. Okay, so a method can belong to any of these four quadrants. Okay, say the x-axis, this is x-axis, say this is y-axis. X-axis represent, if at all it's on this side, okay, this side anywhere, it means that a method has return type. This side anywhere, it means that method doesn't have return type. In the same way, if you see above this arrow, it shows that method has arguments, and below this thing this line, method doesn't have argument, without argument. Okay, so method can be any of the four types. One is method. Here if you see method, just a minute guys, with arguments and with return type. Okay, this is one kind of method guys, this is one kind of method. Second one is here with argument sorry guys, with argument and without return type. Okay, and in this quadrant method will be without argument, without return type, and here without argument but with return type. So method can be any of these four types guys, method can be any of these four types. And whatever you have seen here, if the method return type is void, it means that there is no return type. If you say method return type is void, it means that method doesn't return anything. Okay, we will be seeing this last. Okay, we will be seeing this last. Before seeing this, we will be seeing something else, that is a method. Okay, just ignore this for a while. We will be seeing a method which takes an argument. What is that argument say? It takes a string argument, same name. Previously what was happening, if you call this method, it always used to print hello good morning. Okay, now I want to change it, and I want to change it in a way that it is little dynamic. Little dynamic in the sense, if this person is telling, let's say consider this fellow is a person, and you are calling him, his current job is just to go and write hello on the console, hello good morning on the console. But now you are telling him, you just don't write hello good morning on the console. Okay, you write some person's name as well. Say for example, hello good morning Rajni. Okay, if you tell him that go and greet Rajni, then he will say hello good morning Rajni. And in the same way, if at all you tell him that go and greet Uday, it will go ahead and say hello good morning Uday. Okay, that is what it will say. But in current form, if at all you call this greet method, it will always say hello good morning. So but how will you pass that name to it, name to this particular method? To pass the name, it has to be passed in the form of argument, and I will say string name. Okay, it is just like this. You are declaring a variable name, variable called name, which contains which can hold string. Okay, and now you can do something like this. Now what will happen, if at all you are calling this method greet method, and if at all you are passing some name, it will print hello good morning and that particular name whatever you have passed guys, hello good morning followed by that particular name. That is what it will print. Now if you see this, now you cannot call this greet method like this. How to call this greet method? Previously this is how we used to call, but now it is giving you error. What error it is giving you? Method greet takes a string, okay, but you are not passing anything. Argument is empty. That is what it is saying. So it's basically telling you pass me a string. Say I'm saying Uday. Okay, that is what I'm saying, guys. Now if I write here, now if I execute, first line number 5 will be printed, then the method greet will be called, and this Uday, whatever you are passing, it will be assigned to name variable, and it will be printed hello good morning name. That is what will be printed, guys. Let's check that quickly. See, hello good morning Uday is printed. Now if you say India, it will go ahead and print hello good morning India. If you pass USA, it will go ahead and print hello good morning USA. Understood, guys, how to make a method a little more dynamic? Okay, now if at all you guys understood this, whenever I say return type, this is the part wherein we write the return type. If you write return type as void, it means that there is no return type. You cannot leave this space blank. If there is no return type, you cannot leave this space blank. You have to always say void. If at all there is no return type. And as we discussed, this is the argument area. So we are definitely passing some argument, correct? But return type is not there. So tell me, guys, in which of the quadrant it belongs? Does it belong to quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, or quadrant 4, guys? Where this particular method will belong? Is it in quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4? In which one? That is what I want to know. Rajni is saying second quadrant. Rajni is saying it will belong to the second quadrant. So no return type. So let me see. Yeah, without return type, but with argument. Yes, it will belong to this particular quadrant, guys. This particular quadrant. That's absolutely correct. Okay. Any doubts? Anyone? Any doubts? Anybody? No doubts? Okay. That is great. This is one type of the method, guys. Okay. And say you want to change it a little bit. You can pass more than one arguments as well. Say you say first name and comma string last name. If you do like this and you want to print, say call with that person with first name and then last name like this, you can do like this. Okay, and then you have to say shall, and you have to pass two arguments are. Now if you run this, it will say hello good morning Vishal R. Okay, any doubt, guys? Without return type with score with argument. Okay, with argument. Fine guys, any doubts? No doubts? Okay. Or else if at all you are getting confused with two things, you can always have only one thing. And you have to pass, in that case, you have to pass only one thing. Okay. I'll be sending you guys these as the notes. Alright guys. Now the next thing is method with return type. Okay, with return type and with argument. Okay, what can you say in this kind of methods is very simple guys. Okay, say this method should do something like this. It should not print anything on the console. I don't want it to print anything on the console, but I will give you the first name and the last name. First name comma string last name, and it should return me something called as full name. Say if I pass shall and if I pass RANE, okay, these two things, it should return me this entire thing. Okay, or else let me say add. Okay, let me take this example. Say int a, int b, before that I want to ask you guys this. Add method, and I'm passing two things. This method will belong to which quadrant guys? Can someone tell me? Which of these quadrant? This method. This is the method guys, for you guys, for your quick reference. This is the method. It belongs to which quadrant? Confused guys? With argument, without return type, right? Yes, it will again belong to this particular quadrant guys. Okay, here. Okay, that is what it is. I hope there is no doubt. Okay, now I don't want to print here, okay, but I'm saying that particular person saying that boss, I'm giving you two numbers, add those two numbers, and once you add it, you give me back those two you give back the sum. So first of all, you have to say int sum or something, int sum equal to a plus b. In sum equal to a plus b. This is the first thing you have to say. But this is, we have calculated the sum, but how will you return this sum? For that, sum is of type what? Integer, correct? So you have to say int. It returns me, it was previously it was void, correct? Now you have to say int because it returns sum, and sum is of type integer, and you have to write this statement called return sum. So what this one will gonna do is, it will, whatever number you pass, first number will be assigned to variable a, second number will be assigned to variable b, and you will calculate sum equal to a plus b, and if you want to return that sum, you just need to write return sum. And since it is returning the sum, the return type of this method will not be void, it will be integer. Now how to call this method, guys? Same thing, calling is definitely be the same. That is, you have to pass two numbers, say 2 comma 7. These are the two numbers and semicolon. But if I run this, what will happen? Nothing will happen because we are not printing. So how to it? I said this method will gonna return me something, right? So I have to store it in some variable. So it is returning what? Integer, correct? Some integer it is returning. So I have to store it in integer. Int returned value equal to this, and now you can print that return value, guys. So what will happen when you pass 2 and 7? 2 will be assigned to variable a, 7 will be assigned to variable b, and you will gonna calculate a plus b, that will be 9, and then you are returning this 9 and assigning it to a returned value, variable called return value, and you are printing this return value, and it will gonna print you 9 in this case. Can we check, guys? See, 9. If you pass on 11 plus 5, it will gonna give you 16. Any doubt, guys? Anyone? Any doubts? No? Okay. In the same way, if at all I want to calculate multiplication of two numbers, how will I do it, guys? I might need to do the same thing. I want to calculate a into b, okay? But what should be the return type I have to mention? And this, can you tell me, guys, this one will belong to which quadrant? Quadrant 1 or 2 or 3 or 4? This particular method, this one what is highlighted, it will belong to which quadrant, guys? Rajni is saying quadrant 4. Is there any other answer? Suganya is saying quadrant 1. Now let me ask Rajni. Rajni, is there any return type to this particular method? Is there any return type? Integer. There is a return type, right? Is there any argument? Argument also? Yes, right? Yeah, there are some argument we are passing. It's not empty, correct? So it has the return type and it has the argument as well. So it should belong to quadrant 1. because it has return type and it has arguments also, it should belong to quadrant 1. Any doubt? Or do you still think it should not belong to quadrant 1 according to you? Let's discuss. No doubt? No. Rajni, quadrant 4 represents something. Oh, oh, I have written, yeah. I understood now. What is the problem? I said with argument, with return type. No, it should be without argument. Sorry. I understood why you got confused. It is this actually. Without argument, with return type. Okay, now is that fine? Okay, perfect. That's right then. Okay. Sorry to confuse you guys. This is without return type. Okay, this quadrant without return type, and this is with return type. Okay, but this one will belong to the first quadrant. Okay, fine guys. Now, can someone tell me, I want to multiply two numbers and return the sum? What should I write? And method name is multiply. What should I write? Whether I should write here void or int, or okay, Rajni is saying int, and this is what I have to do, right? Int a and int b, and I will say int multiple equal to a into b and return multiple. That's it guys, and you can save the same thing, int something c equal to multiply 10 comma 2. Okay, and you can print sysovut c. It will give you 20. Any doubt in this particular output guys? Anyone? No doubt, is it? Okay, perfect. Okay, so without with return type and with argument. Okay, with return type with argument. Now let me go to the other examples guys. Now we can say the other examples is like there is no return type, no arguments. Okay, that might be something like this: public static. If there is no return type, what should I type guys? Say method name is greet. What should I type if there is no return type? Void. That's right, void. I have to type greet, and argument also I don't want to give, empty. Say we'll do something, that's it. Sysovut hello, how are you? Okay, this is a classic example of a method which doesn't take any argument. See, our argument type is empty. Here no argument, this is completely empty, and the return type is void, means it doesn't return anything. Okay, so this is an example of a method which with no return type and no argument. No return type and no argument. And I need not, I can just simply call it like this and give a semicolon. And if I run this, it is saying hello, how are you, and it doesn't take any argument. Okay, so this one will belong to quadrant, which one? 1, 2 or 3 or 4. It will belong to quadrant 4. Correct, guys? Anyone having any other thing? Someone is thinking that it doesn't belong to quadrant 4 by any chance? Anyone, guys? No, right? Okay, so this belongs to quadrant 4 without return type. Oh, not this one, not here, guys. It doesn't belong to quadrant 4. It belongs to quadrant 3, right? Without return type and without argument. This is where it belongs, guys. Yeah, that's right. Now there might be some methods wherein you will not be passing anything, but it will give you something. Okay, say it will give you string. Okay, some string. Okay, now don't be worried what I am writing here. Okay, date d equal to new of date. Okay, and I have not taught you guys the date function, or else I have not taught you guys objects, so don't be worried about this. Just say what we just see whatever I'm typing here. Okay, now say string d today's date equal to d dot string. Okay, and I am 100% sure this code you guys won't be understanding. My idea is not to make you guys understand this code, that is date d equals to new update. Okay, but idea is to demonstrate there can be a method which doesn't take any argument, but it will return you something. Okay, return today's date. Okay, but I'll briefly explain you guys. Okay, now if you call this method, so get today's date, this is the method name. So if you call this method, what it will return you guys, what it will return you? A string, correct? So you have to pass, you have to store it in string date something, dat something. Okay, and you can print this SYSOUT DAT. Okay, now if I execute this particular line, see, it is giving me Tuesday, March 21, 22, 43, 50 IST, something it is giving. Okay, it is giving you a string. Okay, don't be worried, guys, what I'm doing here. See, if you want to get the system date, okay, this is what you have to write, but date d equals to new update, but you will not understand what is this new, what is that I'm doing here, unless I teach you something called as constructors and objects. And here also d dot toStrings, it's a method. Okay, so you will not understand unless I teach you objects and constructors. Okay, but understand, if you want to get the date, you will do like this. If you want to convert the date into a string, you will do like this, and do this. So idea was not to demonstrate how to get the date or how to convert a date into a string. Idea was to tell you that there can be a method, with no argument, but it can still return you something. Understood, guys? Anyone, any doubt? And this is one classic example of a method which doesn't take any argument, without argument, but it returns your string. Okay, that is the thing. Or else there might be a method something like string public, say method name is get greeting. Okay, this might be the method name, and it will say string my greet equal to hi, how are you? Okay, and you can return this greet. Okay, this is one simple example also. This simple example, if at all you are getting confused here, see, idea is this method doesn't take any argument, it will return you one greeting message. That is the thing. And you can call this method like this, greeting. Okay, first before that, okay, I'll call it here string greet, okay, equal to this one, and you can say SYSOUT greet. Okay, this is also an example which doesn't take any argument, but it returns your string. Okay, so it without with a with return type without argument. This is also perfectly fine, guys. Any doubts, anyone? If there are no doubts, we are done for today, guys. If there are no doubts, we are done for today. We will see some more methods tomorrow. Okay, maybe real-time example, something like that, and then we will go for the further things. Okay, but try these things, guys. Okay, try all these things. Okay, and I might send you guys the assignments as well. All right, guys, any doubt, anyone? No doubt? That's it then, guys. Okay, you can close the session, and if anyone has any question, they can stay on. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye.